Hi everyone, welcome to episode 26 of Show Me How It's Done. I am so excited to share with you guys a really fun technique today. I've done it before at one of my classes and it's called Retiform Stamping. And as you can see, it's just a very fun way to get a variety of color and pattern on your paper with very little work. So I'm going to show you how to do it and you'll see it's really easy to do. But the stamp I wanted to showcase today is one that I think probably gets missed in the grandeur of our new annual catalog. It was carried over from a mini catalog last year and it's called Enjoy the Moment. Now this stamp set is really adorable in the fact that it's got so many different elements for us to add to a project. And it's just got a lot of character and detail to it, which makes it the perfect set for us to add this detail to. So hi Danielle, thanks for joining. So what I wanted to showcase today was this stamp set. It unfortunately does not have dies that go with it, so some of the images that you see on my card, I did just cut them out, but that's okay. They look adorable and they're very simple to cut. They just add that little something extra to your project. Okay, so Enjoy the Moment is in our new annual catalog. You can find it in there. If you need help searching for it, just give me a shout. But let's teach you how to make this beautiful card. So I'm just going to hold it up for you so you can see the detail and the design in there. And the beauty about Retiform stamping is you can do absolutely any sort of design you want. So I'm going to show you how to do something maybe a little bit different next time in this card, just so you can see the potentials. Okay, so here's the card we're making. What you're going to need to start, let's just get all of our pieces cut. Okay, so our card base is Pool Party. I have cut this at 5.5 by 8.5, and I put a score mark down the middle at 4 1/4. This guy I'm just folding in half, burnishing in the middle, and then you can either put it to the side or we're going to actually add the middle part to it right now so that it's just ready to go. So you'll need 2 pieces of crumb cake. One is for the inside of our card, one is for the outside. These both measure 4 inches by 5 1/4, and you'll need 2 pieces of basic white as well. One for the inside, one for the outside. These measure 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so one set of these we're going to attach together. The other set, you're going to take the white piece and just move it out of your way for now. Okay, let's build our card and then I will show you how to do the Retiform technique in a sec, but it's kind of nice to just get this out of our way. So with some sort of flat adhesive, we're going to attach the first piece of basic white to the crumb cake. This is for the inside of my card. I always like to have something very distinct to write on, and I find that just giving myself a nice white palette is perfect. It's easy to write on, easy to read. Okay, so you could also put adhesive on the back of this crumb cake piece because that's going on the inside just as a nice little border for our white. Okay, there we go. So on the inside of our card, just open it up, put this down like so. On my front of the card, you can also attach this piece just to get it out of your way, but we're going to put him up on dimensionals. Okay, so we want this to pop out of the card a little bit more. So just put some dimensionals. I have nice big fat ones from the rest of my, I always chop the borders of my pieces. So I have some nice big pieces here. And probably just one in the middle. There we go. This is going on the front of my card for a nice shadowed frame. But now with my card base here, I'm going to put this aside. because the white needs workspace and it's going to get inky. So we want this out of the way so it doesn't get messy. I'm going to try and put this somewhere so you can see it. There we go. Okay, so for this project, you will either need some scraps of paper. You'll see why. They don't need to be giant, but maybe make them at least like 3 by 4 just so you have room to work. Or you can use Post-its. The reason I am going to use Post-its is because they have a nice sticky edge, so I don't have to sit here holding papers in place with one hand while trying to brush color on with the other. So I'm gonna just move these scraps. I did use them when I made my sample and it was fine, but there's just a couple corners where it's a little tricky. So if you don't mind using up some Post-its, make sure they're not like the super indelible, never come off till you're dead ones, because you don't want them to attach to your paper too much. But as long as they're a little sticky, they will work. So I am going to demonstrate how I did this card for you, but as I promised, it can be done differently. So this card I've done in a up and down way. This one here, we could turn to the side and do the same technique. You could also do different angles than I have done on this card here. So I'm just going to kind of do what I feel like. It may end up looking the same, it may not. We'll see. So I think what I'm going to start with is just a nice triangle in the middle here. Okay, so you can basically just start your project however you want. You just need to make sure you've got kind of 3 areas that are fully separated from the rest of your project. Okay, so the colors that I chose to use today are Bermuda Bay, Pool Party, and Crumb Cake. And you can open all of them up and just have them ready to go, because you'll be using them in various orders, okay? So I have on hand my nice little blending brushes. I have previously used them, so they're not clean. But when I'm grabbing some ink, I'm just going to go in a circle on my ink pad, like so. And then I like to also start off of the white area in case there's a weird blotch on my brush. Just gives me a chance to nicely brush that off and kind of get rid of it. You can make this as light or as dark as you want to. You may also decide, hey, I'd really like, some darkened edges. So you're going to go over the edge parts a little bit more and leave the middle area a little lighter. This is your card. And the beauty of blending brushes is you can always come back and add more color to the space. Okay? So you've got this adorable little area in the Bermuda Bay. While it's still blocked off, we're going to pick a stamp set from that set. I've basically taken out over half of them and just mounted them on blocks. We're going to just do a little bit of messy stamping. So partially in our space, partially on the sticky note. Okay, just going all the way around so that you've got a little bit of that image on all these different parts. Okay, maybe just one more here. There. So it's a very, very random assortment, as you can see here, of the colors. And I did get a little off, and that's okay. It will easily be covered by my next color. But here's one section. So now what I want to do is I want to color in one of these other sections. So I'm going to put sticky notes over top of the line that I've already done. And maybe we'll extend this one a little bit so it kind of goes down. I don't need to bother putting sticky notes on the edge of my card because I have scrap under me, okay? So just choose another color. Let's go with Pool Party now. And we're going to do the same thing. So nicely starting to brush in a circular motion over the edge of that paper, right there. You're going to need to add more color as you desire, but I really like making my initial line really dark here and then kind of tapering it up to the top so it just gets a little bit of color up there. The pool party is probably the toughest for you guys to see what I'm doing, but you'll see very vividly when I start playing with the crumb cake. Okay, so there's a nice amount of color. So I'm going to choose a different stamp. Let's go with some little buds here. And just once again, all over your entire section, you're just going to add images, okay? So we haven't moved those Post-its, and that's going to make our life really easy. Don't have to line things up all over again, okay? So then when I take off the Post-its, do that very slowly, I have a section now that's just right next to my blue. As you get more comfortable with this, you may decide to try and have like a little white gap in between them, but it is a little tougher to do that because you want to keep a gap very consistent throughout your card. And I really liked how these colors blended together, so I purposely chose colors that wouldn't need a white border in between them. They could easily sit side by side and really have a nice contrast to one another. Okay, so on this side, I can either do the exact same thing, have a nice flat triangle all the way down, but I'm kind of thinking, let's get a little risky here. This is the nice thing about Post-its, is you can just make whatever you want. Let's make kind of a funky shape in this area here. Okay, Crumb Cake is next. This is the one where you'll really see it's got nice dark color to it, and just add a little bit to the top. You can just see how beautifully it just sticks to the paper. Love it. Okay. And because I want kind of a sandy look, I'm not going to make this as dark as I probably could. So we'll just leave it at that. I'm going to go really tiny with this one. These are seeds, and they're super cute. You do have to do a lot of stamping with this one here, and that's okay. But flip her around. You want some on, some off. All over the place here. There we go. And that guy. There. Okay. So when I take this off, I have a nice brown look. Okay. So I guess I've got to deal with this area here. So you can either just do this tiny spot, or we can play with this triangle. Just get it marked off here. The nice thing about Retiform stamping is it's not set in stone what you're doing. You can do anything you want. I'm going to go over top of this section that's in blue with the lighter color and see how that turns out. Okay, so pool party. This is very now boring for you guys. You just get to watch me play and decide what I want to do. Oh, I guess I need one here on the top line. Okay, let's do this. Take over this entire space, like so. So the light pool party barely touches the Bermuda Bay, which is why I don't really need to worry about covering it up. And I won't stamp over that spot, but it will give me a chance to use this really funky space that I left myself. Okay. Choose another stamp. There we go. That right in there. Perfect. go. Just keep going all over this. Like so. And it's just fun. Every time you take it off, it will look different. Little post-its here. See, this one was fun. We kind of went over top that space and made it a little messy. So now let's fill in some of this gap here, I think. That could use a little love. I'm going to put Crumb Cake here. Really like you can mix basically any combination colors. Yeah. I also was thinking that our Friends Are Like Seashells stamp would be perfect for this color combination as well as the technique, but I had used them in a different class, so I thought, hey, I should probably show you guys something else. So I am. Just very tempting sometimes to play with sets over and over that you're in love with. There we go. Okay. There's that section. And now I have just one section left. So I'm going to make sure that that's covered up. And I will bring in my Bermuda Bay one last time. If you really wanted to, you could make like teeny tiny sections and have more colors or more stamps at play, I guess. But I wanted a little sampling in here, enough to get comfortable with and see the colors, but not too much work and not too much time that you guys had to watch. So here's one more. Okay, oops, I missed a little section. That's okay. So I'm just gonna take my stickies and back them up a minute. Let's add a tiny bit more color in that one little spot there. See, blending brushes make it easy. Almost looks like I planned just a light little line in there. Okay, so take this off and have a really funky background. So what I wanted to do was to put this onto my card base, so you can grab that now. I'm just gonna add it with a flat adhesive, so some tape or some seal. And it's really a very versatile card. You could add anything you want to the front, but I wanted to bring pieces from the stamp set in. So what I did was just on a piece of basic white, I stamped the tall kind of bunch of flowers and stuff in the crumb cake, and then I just fussy cut them out. And in Pool Party, I did this funky one here, and I just cut off the stem in the end. So what I've done here, I've got those two ready to go. And on just a little tiny rectangle that I cut out, it's 1/2 inch wide by 1.5 inches long, I stamped the sentiment, a little note, just in the early espresso ink, because that really suits it well. So in the back of these pieces here, I'm going to put dimensionals on my 2 flower pieces. And those can go on your card however you want them to. I'm just going on the right-hand side here with that there, and this one just kind of offset here. And then my little tag, oops, sorry, my dimensional is bumping. There we go. There. My little tag now, I'm going to put a couple dimensionals as well on the back. Oops, which side did I like? That one. And this can sit just right on top of this base here, okay? So this flower can kind of, you can use your finger or a bone folder to kind of fold it up just a little at the top so it looks like it's coming off the page. And then the note's just sitting here. Cute. But I thought, hey, let's add a little something. So I'll let that focus for you. There you go. So it's great, but I thought, hey, let's add something to this. So I grabbed some of my silver and clear gems. They are, so these ones are full circles sheets. They're from our last catalog. Stampin' Up has redone the set. It's this guy here on page 142. So now it comes with not only circles, but raindrops or teardrops and diamonds as well. So I'm just using up my circle stash, but if you're looking for it, it actually comes in the trio of shapes now. So that's a really nice change. So I'm just going to use the clear set and just add a little embellishment all over this. There we go. So it's very subtle, just something small, but it kind of just brings your stamp to life a little. My colors are really vibrant right now. When it dries a bit more, they'll fade a tiny bit, but you can see the cards are great and they're never going to look the same when you do them. So that's the fun part of this, is you just play with whatever colors you've got and play with whatever stamps you've got. And hopefully you'll have a great card every single time. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you really enjoyed the Retiform stamping technique. I'm excited to see what you guys create, so feel free to post it in the comments on the videos if you tried the technique, and I hopefully will see you guys next week. Bye!